What has 4 wheels, a windscreen, a revving engine, and a requirement for an MOT test after 3 years of initial ownership? Me, in a brand new car. This also applies to space engineers, so start booking your MOT now. Why Rover? Why not Rover? Rover is insulted by you inquiring its purpose and wants you to apologise with immediate effect. On a serious note, Rovers are a key element to space engineers' gameplay. Sure, they allow you to carry your stuff from A to B with relative ease, but I, in my unfaltering wisdom, can see Rovers for what they truly are. A fashion statement. With a personally built Rover, you can show up to the mining site on time while simultaneously proving to everyone that you're the biggest, baddest bastard this side of the solar system, because you have a Rover named Jeff McVrumsky and they don't. Take that, neighbour William, with your swanky new Porsche. I hope it pops a tire. With Rovers, you can even support your favourite companies, role-playing all your favourite car brands. Ford, Toyota, Land Rover, BMW, VW, and Tesla. Unfortunately, it is at this point where you weep in great sorrow, tragically realising that the only things you learnt in school was how to sleep less than 8 hours, and how to hate maths even more, and not how to make yourself the sexiest Sabroid magnet on the planet. But fear not, O struggling engineers, activating your helmet's windscreen wipers to clear your waterworks. On this day, I will be your Prometheus, breaking a rover off of the glorious sun to fuel the fires of human show-offery. So with all that said, shut the doors, fasten your seatbelts, and ensure that your seats and headrests are properly adjusted. And most importantly, I guess make sure you're in neutral before starting. You've seen 2 of these already, you know how this goes. Essential blocks time. Roll the tape. Firstly, we start with the control blocks. I haven't much to say about these, considering I've already explained them in my ships video. Overall, the particular control block you use is entirely a matter of preference, and there are more than the ones shown here. Something good to bear in mind is that some, like these 3, are pressurized like a Coke bottle and can sustain an atmosphere, whilst these are for those of you who like to feel the wind in their hair. The only condition in which you won't need one of these is if your skin is blue and your birth certificate says Crazy Frog. Next up, we have arguably the most important part of your rover, the wheel suspensions. Available in 4 sizes, as well as normal and short lengths, these boost you from being a hitchhiking pioneer to Fast and Furious 53 at the fastening. For any new people who are confused, the wheel suspensions are the block you actually place, with the wheels spawning on them as soon as they're placed. If you find that the wheels are not spawning, it's usually because they're sensitive and uncomfortable, and they need more space from other blocks. Following suit, we now need to consider a power block that we're going to use, just like with the ships tutorial. The only difference is that our friend, the humble rover, is polite and eats their food at a slower pace, unlike the ships, which happily slam down 3 McChickens and a Big Mac at 3 in the morning in 5 minutes. Because of this, a measly 3 small batteries on a smallish rover should be enough to keep it marching for a good 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how rough you are with the throttle. Lastly, some of the most essential blocks you can have in a rover are actually the highly variable, inessential ones. This is because rovers are extremely customizable, making them quite easily malleable to any requirements that are lingering on your list of active inconveniences. But regardless, that concludes the essential blocks section of our tutorial. Moving on to the next natural part, the building of the rover. Hello viewers, 'tis I, Maple, and welcome to the practical tutorial of building rovers. I am tired. first step that you need to do is you need to secure your building site. So you get a landing gear and you place that down. Now we can build on this, and anything we make isn't going to get blown away or like pushed over or drift off into space, because that is not ideal. So the first thing we need to do is make a frame to our rover. I'm going to keep this as simplistic as possible. I'm not going to be a fashionista about this. I am just going to make something that works. So let's say 5 blocks on either side. I've already messed up. There we go. Is that 5 or 6? That is 5. So we have 5 blocks on either side. Let me just count something out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Yep, that works fine for me. I'm going to put another one there. So let us prepare our control. Let's be very basic and just use a normal cockpit, because I'm inclusive and I'm going to be assuming that everyone is doing this from absolutely nothing at all. Let's make another layer of blocks out, just in case. Once again, I'm not going to be stylish here, I'm just going to make something that works so you people know how to do it. Like this. Next up, I'm just going to add a bunch of batteries down here. You could just have one normal battery, but I'm going to put in 3 normal ones, as I mentioned before, just because I can. So, the next step we need to do is add the wheels. Something important to note is that when it comes to wheels, there is left suspension and there is right suspension. As we can see, this is the left side of the vehicle, and therefore the left suspension will be going here, whereas the right will be going here. It is probably important that we don't put the left on the right or vice versa. So, I'm going to be very careful about this and do this very slowly. So we place the first one. This is the left on the front. So let's name this left front. Wheel suspension 3x3 left front. Then I'm going to count 4 blocks away. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't have to be like that, but I've found in the past that making it at least 4 blocks apart from the next set helps with the steering. Then we have left middle. So let's write that down. And finally, we're going to do left back, which will be going here. So here we have left front, middle, and back. Let me just name that. And back. So now that we've done the left side, we need to do the right side. So, let's do it again. I'm not going to provide as much commentary, because you've already seen how this works. As long as you name things, it shouldn't get too confusing for any beginners. Usually I go commando without the names, but I know that that does get a bit confusing. So, let's get to the naming. We do right, middle, and then right, back. There we go. So, we have our control block, we have the wheels, we have a frame, and we have power. So, we're ready to set off, right? Wrong. Because, well, Rovers are very weird, and all the wheels come the same. So, this is why I named them. All of the wheels have options such as steering, propulsion, brake, allow parking brake, such and such and such and such. 2 in particular that I want us to focus on is steering and brake. Now, if we go to the front wheels, we need to disable brake. And then for all of the rest, I think it is advised that we disable steering. So what we've done here is we have made it so these 4 back wheels, middle and back, will brake, these ones won't, and only these 2 front wheels will steer. This is because, in either situation, it's not ideal. If we steer with all the wheels, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. And if we brake with the front wheels, we're going to go head over heels and dive headfirst into the ground. And I don't know about you, but that's not ideal. So, now that we've done that, in theory, we should be ready to set this baby off. Something I will note is that this is probably not the best environment to try this in, because this is an ice floor, essentially. So it's probably not going to handle very well. But if I try and get it out... Oh, this is a nightmare. Why did I do it like... I should have made a ramp. I should have made a ramp. Oh, okay, kind of laggy. But as you can see, it works. And it's spinning a bit because of the ice. And it's lagging. And... I'll get back to you on that one. Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between or otherwise, we meet again. And now, we are on non-frictionless land, where it is, well, non-frictionless. So hopefully we'll be getting a bit better grip. So, as you can see, it is kind of heavy with the steering, but it does work. That I cannot deny. That is a treat. Okay, I missed. But as you can see, this is essentially the bare bones Rover. It's gonna... Oh. I've had a car accident. Welcome back to Top Gear, where Hammond drives a Rover. Another useful piece of information to bear in mind, especially for those of you that keep flipping over, is that it is quite advisable to have a gyroscope on your Rover. This allows you to essentially make micro adjustments mid-air, which is remarkably useful. As you can see, if we go over an edge, I need to find a good edge, but here we go. When we go over an edge, you can adjust yourself so that you land on your suspension. Because if you land on your backside, you're pretty much dead. But if you land on your suspension from pretty much any height, you'll come out completely unscathed. As you can see. So, if you're having problems with flipping over and losing your Rover and all the stuff within it, consider adding a gyroscope. But anyways, as you have seen from the tutorial and the test drive that I just took it on, this is essentially the bare bones vehicle. This is like the single cellular organisms crawling out of the primordial soup. This is as basic as you can probably get, maybe, unless it's maybe got four wheels, but this is an example of the most worst functional Rover in the world. So, if you want to make something that moves, by all means copy this block for block. If you want something that's cool, just incorporate this knowledge into something that looks cooler. So, yes, that concludes the tutorial. As the final segment in this little tutorial video, I'm going to be showing you some of the Rovers that I've made in the past. I'm going to make this one quick because this video is getting quite long, so this is just, once again, like in the ships video, a bit of inspiration in case you want to think about how you're going to make your Rover. So first up we have this, which is one of the very first Rovers I ever made, which was in a survival world. And, well, I'm sure you can tell what it's meant for. This is a heavy transporter, in the sense that it transports heavy items. It is quite interesting. It's pretty much just a normal Rover, except it can hold 15,000 litres of things. So it moves, as you can see. This can be very useful. I initially made this for mining applications, As in, I would go into the hole, mine it up, and then I would take the stuff, put it in the rover, and take it back to base. That's all I really used it for. However, there are other applications I've used rovers like this for, such as transporting items from a base to a ship. Overall, it's not something that everyone will use every day, but it's definitely something that people may need. Next up, we have probably my favourite rover that I've ever made. This is the rover which I call the Nomad version 3. It is my favourite for multiple reasons. One, because it is just the best looking rover that I've ever made. And two, because it's got this big gun on the top. The idea of the gun is usually so it can just shoot out any meteors that happen to be in the sky at the moment, so that there isn't any damage to the rover or the base it may be in. But also, it allows you to attack any sort of opponent that you may find against you, making it a sort of light combat rover, in a sense. As well as that, it has gyroscopes, which makes it very maneuverable, allowing it to make very quick mid-air adjustments. And lastly, in this very small segment, we have this, which is called the Nomad Light. This is a very small vehicle that I actually made in a Space Engineers server world. This is purely for recon, scouting missions, as you can see by the solar panel on the top. It doesn't fully charge it, but it is there to sort of extend the battery life on this thing. The maneuverability is fine, it drives as you would expect, has a medium cargo container for inventory space, even has an oxygen tank. Generally, all this is a light reconnaissance craft that you can use, and you can even store things in, which would make it good for salvaging drop pods, for example. Very useful. So, when I started this, I was expecting a particular question, which is, Maple, I liked your tutorial, but how big can this go? And you know what? I thought the same thing. How big can this go? So, I slaved away for a little bit, and I made the most appalling thing I've ever seen. It's belligerent, it's a nightmare, it's terrifying, it keeps me awake at night, it is the horrendous Abominaticus Maximus. It is huge. It's huge, and it is terrifying. And I am about to take it barreling down this cliff for absolute no reason, just fun. So let's do this. I have a large warfare reactor. This thing is nuclear powered, so it's never going to run out. Just in case it wasn't metal enough, I've got an entire payload of armed warheads. Then I have 4 gyroscopes, so I can help guide it around, and I've also got some pleasant imagery on the thing, as you can see here. We are all going to die! So, let's take her down, shall we? If I get this closed, let's get right ready and take her on a drive. She's starting on a hill, so she might be a bit slow, but let's do this. Bring it on! Cue the music! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Bring it on! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Bring it on! I'm gonna do a flip! Do a flip! Oh, it's so cool! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh no! How many flips can I do? Hey everyone, it's Maple here. I just wanted to drop in at the last moments of the video to say thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. I never thought that I would get 100 subscribers, let alone 115, which is what I currently have. I honestly thought that no one would care, so it's a good thing that people do care. Some people, not that many. I'm not going to big it up because it isn't that big, although even so. Thank you very much, and I just hope that you enjoy future content that may come out. So thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, maybe commenting, telling a friend, and see you in the future, I guess. Bye.